Hello all, welcome to session 27 of Selenium Python Training Series. In this session, I am going to explain about variables. So let's get started. What are variables? Using variables, we can store the data into the Python programs. Let me now practically show you this. Launch PyCharm, and there is a project already created in the previous session. So under this practice folder, create a new Python file and name this file as variables demo. The Python file got created. Here, I am going to show you the purpose of the variables. The purpose of the variables in Python is to store the data, guys. So here, I'll name a variable as A, guys. Okay. Here, A is a variable. I want to store some data into the variable A. How to store that in Python? I have to say A is equal to whatever the data you want to store. Let's say I want to store the number 9 into the A. Okay. Now I stored the data that is 9 into this variable A. As you can see here, guys, Python doesn't have any data types. If you are already familiar with Java programming, okay, in Java, we have different data types, guys. But in Python, we don't have to specify any data types. We simply need to assign the data to the required variable, guys. It doesn't matter which type of data you are assigning to the variable. Okay, you don't have to specify any data type like integer, float, okay, boolean, all those things are not required. Here in Python, variables can be created as simple as this with some name, and you can assign some data. Here A is a variable. Into this variable A, we store the data 9. Now, how to confirm that this particular value 9 got stored into the variable A? For that, guys, we can use a print statement. Print and print this variable A, guys. When you print the variable A, the value that is stored inside this variable A will be printed in the output. Let me run this. Right click, run variables demo. You will see that in the output, you will see 9 will get printed. When you are printing A, the value that is stored in the variable A, that is 9, is getting printed. As you can see, guys, this is the purpose of the variables. In Python programming, the purpose of the variables is to store the data. Okay, to store the data. I'll explain more about the variables now, guys. Okay, I'll explain more about the variables. So in your computer, guys, let's say this is a memory allocated for storing the data. Okay, whatever the programming you are doing using this Python, right? Let's assume that this is a memory where the data is being stored. This is a memory where the data is being stored. I'm just dividing the memory into multiple partitions. So like this, guys, generally the memory will be divided in your computer system like this. Whatever the memory that got allocated to this Python programming, let's say this is a representation. Now, when you are storing this 9 into this variable A, what's happening is somewhere, okay, in somewhere in the memory, some partitioning of the particular memory, the value 9 is there, guys. Okay, let's say here the 9 is stored in this memory. In order to retrieve this value 9 that is stored in this particular memory location, we need what, guys? We need the variable, guys. Here 9 is stored into a variable. It's a name, guys. Okay, variable is nothing but the some name. Okay, some name. So using this particular name known as A, we can retrieve this value that is stored in the memory, guys. This is what is variable, guys. Using variable, we can store the data in the Python programs, right? If the data is stored in the memory location like this, okay, some one of the partition in the memory, if the data is stored like this, in order to retrieve this data, we have to use the name that is given to this particular data. What is the name that is given to this particular data? A, which is nothing but the variable name. In general, guys, the partitions, the memory partitions, as you can see here, partition 1, partition 2, partition 3 are there, let's say. So this particular partition will not have name, guys. Instead, it will be in like this case, okay? 101011 like that, okay? No one can remember this code of this particular memory block, right? In order to refer to this value 9, we should have some name that should be given to this particular memory partition, okay? Instead of calling that using some this kind of value, okay, we should call it by using name, which is nothing but the variable, case. Variable is the name to the some memory block where the data is stored. So that's why, guys, when we are printing A, the value that is stored in the 9 is getting printed, right? When you are printing the variable A, the value that is stored in this particular location, which is referred by this particular variable, is getting printed. That is this one. Hope guys understood the detailed way of what exactly is a variable is, right? So in the next session, guys, I'll show you how to store different types of data. In this session, I only showed you how to store one type of data, right? In this session, I showed you only one type of data that can be stored. That is integer kind of data we stored into a variable. In the next session, I will show you how to store different types of data into the variables. So that's it, guys. See you in the next session. Thank you. Bye.